शुक्लांबरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये। ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणी भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनी अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणी यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तं न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः।
Bhagavad Gita, chapter 15. Read Sri Bhagavan Uvacha, first verse.
Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Urdhvamoolamadha Shakham Ashvatham Prahuravyayam Chandausi Yasya Parnani Yastam Veda Savedavit.
Those who take to intense bhakti of Parameshwara, Bhagavan sees to it that they get the knowledge and get liberated. As for the others who directly gain the Atma Jnana, certainly they gain me. But here, though Arjuna didn't ask, Bhagavan is unfolding what is the nature of that Atma Swarupa, Brahma Swarupa. To gain this knowledge, a mind with perfect vairagya is indispensable. So long as Vishya Sakti, love for sense pleasure is there, mind is bound to be extrovert. Extrovert mind can never hope to gain the knowledge of Atma Swarupa. To inculcate vairagya, Bhagavan is describing this samsara, the present existence of ours, with main calamity of transmigration. Janma Marana, in between nothing but incessant flow of sorrows, intermixed with little tinsels of joys. This samsara, what is the nature of this samsara? He is explaining, describing with the help of an imagery of a tree. In the tree, the root signifies Brahma. And all other things are nothing but the samsara vriksha. A peculiar one, as it were, because figurative one. The roots up and the branches, trunk, etc., downwards. In the sense, root, the Brahma is superior compared to the samsara, which is dreaded with sorrows. So with this, the imagery of samsara vriksha starts. We have seen in general. Let us see the Bhasya now. Urdhvamoolam kalataha sukshatvat, etc. Read.
ऊर्ध्वमूलं कालतः सूक्ष्मत्वात् कारणत्वात् नित्यत्वात् महत्वात् च ऊर्ध्वम् उच्यते ब्रह्म अव्यक्तमाया शक्तिमत् तन्मूलम् अस्य इति सः अयं संसार वृक्षः ऊर्ध्वमूलः.
So urdhvamoolam adashakha. Ashwatha tree with root upwards and branches below. It's not an absurdity, it is a figurative description as such. So therefore, why this samsara vriksha is said to be with the roots upwards? What is the reason? Here urdhva means literally we should not take as upwards. It should be taken as utkrishtam, superior. Generally, rank wise 1, 2, 3, top is got 1. So the way that the top ones shows the exalted one. Like that, above in the sense superior, utkrishta. Why that mula is superior? Mula here signifies Brahma. 4 reasons are given. Number 1, kalataha. What kalataha? See, time is subtle, sukshma. No doubt, we do measure in terms of hours, days, weeks, months, fortnights, months, years, eons, etc. That's true. But if you go downwards, what happens? Minute, microsecond, then what? Nanosecond. In our chronology, kala, kala, kashtha, etc. means there is lower measure of the time. And it is becomes very subtle. Like that, it is sukshma, very subtle. And therefore what? Subtle, that is what it is superior. Why subtle? Because karanatva. Brahma seemingly appears to be the cause of kala, time. See, if you compare between cause and effect, cause is superior than the effect. Brahma is the cause, kala, time is the effect, therefore it is superior because being karana. Why karana is cause is superior to karya, the effect? Because nityatva, in the sense, before the karya, the effect came into existence, karana was already there, cause was already there. Means it is more lasting than the effect, the nityatva. One more reason is mahatvacha. Mahatvacha means being sarvavyapitva. The cause of this samsara vriksha Brahma is what? Sarvavyapi. It is all pervasive. There is no place where it is not there at all. Because of this, it is called what? Urdhvam. Urdhvam means utkrishtam. Uchyate. It's called this. The question is, sir, you are presenting Brahma as a cause of Kala, but Brahma is avikari. How can the time produced by that can get produced from it? No. For where that Brahma is what? Which Brahma? Not Nirguna Brahma, but Avyakta Maya Shaktimat Brahma. Brahma, which is Avyakta Maya Shaktimat. Mat, endowed with Matu Pratyaya. Endowed with Avyakta Maya Shakti. The imperceptible power of creation. It is endowed with that. So that Brahma is what? Tat means that is what Brahma endowed with Maya is Asya Moolam. Asya means what? Asya Samsara Vrikshasya. This Samsara Vriksha, it is what? Moolam, root. Soyam Samsara Vriksha Urdhamula. Such a Samsara tree is called Urdhamula. Means the tree whose root is superior Brahma, that's called Urdhamula. Continue.
Shrutehe cha urdhvamulo vakshakha iti.
To corroborate this, Kathopanishad is quoted, 6th Valli, 1st mantra. There it said, Urdhvamulo vakshakha eshoshvatha sanatanaha. This samsara is what? It is a vriksha is what? Urdhvamula, as told here. Vakshakha, whose branches are below. And Eshaha, Eshaha means what? This samsara rupaha, ashvatha. Samsara rupa ashvatha tree, people, tree is what? Sanatana, anadi. It is anadi. There, Bhashyakara describes this samsara vriksha in the Bhashya. It's really a interesting passage. Even in Sanskrit language, it can be a masterpiece of what languages. Very detailed he gives that I will just read it and tell you what he means there. Especially how this samsara vriksha is noisy, tumultuous noise there. That is a confusion. That passage is what? Very, very interesting. Let us see. He says, Apara Brahma Vijnana Kriya Shakti Dvayatmaka Hiranyagarbhankura. Hiranyagarbhankura. This samsara vriksha is the one whose sprout is what? Hiranyagarbha. With that Hiranyagarbha, Apara Brahma. Apara Brahma means Saguna Brahma, Ishvara. It's Vijnana Kriya Shakti Dvayatmaka. Hiranyagarbha endowed with Jnana, Vijnana Shakti means power of knowledge, Kriya Shakti, power of action. So, with that, it is the sprout of it. Sarva Prani Linga Bheda Skandha. Skandha. Skandha means shoulder. Here is the trunk. What is the trunk? Sarva Prani Linga Bheda. Of all living beings, different types of Suksha Shariras. Linga means subtle bodies. The Suksha Shariras of all living beings, they are different from one another. That is, it's the trunk. How it is watered? Trishna Jala Seka Udbhuta Darpa. Darpa. It is tall because it is watered profusely. And what is that water? Trishna Jala. Aseka means here that is Aseka, water. Sprinkling means watering. So it is, but this water is what? The hankering for sense pleasures. Never satisfying, hankering for sense pleasure. Krishna Aseka. Udhuta Darpaha. The one who has become, which has grown very tall. Now, what are its tender leaves? Buddhindriya Vishaya Pravalankura. Pravalankura means tender leaves. Buddhi, intellect. Indriyas, Indriya. Then this senses. Vishaya Pravalankura. Vishaya, sense objects. These are all its what? Tender leaves. What are its leaves then? Shruti, Smriti, Nyaya, Vidyopadesha, Palasha. Palasha means leaves. The actual leaves are what? The teaching, Upadesha in the Shruti, Vedas, Smritis, scriptures based on Vedas, Nyaya, reasoning, all this teaching, it's what? It's Palasha, the leaves. What are the flowers of it? Yajna, Dana, Tapadi, Aneka Kriya, Supushpaha. Supushpaha, bearing beautiful flowers in the form of what? Yajna, sacrifices. Dana, charity. Tapa, ascetic practice. Adi, like this, many karmas and all these are there in its flowers. Then, what is the taste? Taste, it is like this. Sukha dukkha vedananeka rasa. It has got in itself many tastes, like what? Sukha, dukkha, vedana means pain, like aneka rasa. And how is deeply rooted? Pranyupajivyananta phala. What are the fruits of that phala? Pranyupajivyananta phala. The endless results of karmas of endless jivas on which they subsist, they survive. That is the result, means karma phalas are the result of it. How its roots are very deep rooted. The reason is Krishna Salilavaseka, because of watering by the water of called Krishna, anchor is the insatiable thirst for sense pleasure, by which Prarudha, highly grown, Jadikrita Dridabadha Mula. Jadikrita, fixed, Dridabadha Mula, very steadfastly, it is what? Deeply rooted. Now, tree means what happens? Nests of the birds are there. They are this. Satyanamadi Saptaloka. Brahmadi Bhuta Pakshi Nida. Brahmadi Bhuta Pakshi Krita Satyanamadi Saptaloka Nida. 7 lokas. Made by who? Brahmadi Bhuta Pakshikrita. By the birds in the form of Brahmaji, Hiranyagarbha, etc. Satya. The Satya Namadi is 7 heavens. Krita Nidaha. This. Now comes very interesting. This samsara vriksha is full of noise and noise alone. What type of noise? Let us see. Prani sukha dukkhodbhuta. Praninam sukha dukkhaihi udbhuta. Born of joys and sorrows of all living beings. How in terms of harsha, rejoicing, shoka, sorrow, suffering, sorrow, shoka jata, born of this. From where are they born? Nritya, dancing. Gita, singing. Vaditra, orchestra. Vaditra, ksheli. Kshelita means orchestra, or what is meant by played by musical instrument. Aspotita, clapping. Hasita, laughing. Akrushta, dragging. Ha, muncha. Ayo, why are you dragging me? Leave me. Aha, yo. Muncha. Please leave me. Ityadi. Such few samples they have given. Aneka Shabda Kruta. Produced by many such words, means many such approach. Tumuli Bhuta. Maharava. Great noise, which is what? Tumultuous, noisy, confused, Maharava. I don't know you have whether seen trees on which when the birds come and perch, not some small tree, huge tree. Somewhere in 1990s, I don't remember 1992 or 1995, we had gone for a spiritual camp, exclusively meditation camp, based on Drigdrishya Viveka. In fact, based on that, I have written after Vedanta Kesu Samadhi. But it was a practical demonstration. We had taken to a camp called a place near Balsad, Shukleshwar Mahadev. There's a temple, famous temple Shukleshwar Mahadev. But the place is such that very interior village. By the side of the temple, huge complex is there. There is a small river running. And you will not find a single vehicle coming to the village, such a village. And daytime, such pin drop silence, except some woodcutter cutting the wood at the crematorium. That's all. But by the side of temple, a huge tree was there, and one more little smaller was other one. On this tree, literally 2,000 to 3,000 birds used to come and perch. And evening at the dusk time, for half an hour or so, What an uproar! You will go crazy. Chirruping of the birds, varieties of birds and chirruping. Other tree also there. But on that, the small crane type white birds only used to perch. They also used to make a big noise. But this was, and morning again, and night no, total silence. Except one here and there at the again morning dawn until they leave it again noise, no noise. It was an experience by itself. So like this, samsara vriksha, noise and noise only. Anything wailing, etc. is not given. Given ha ha, muncha, 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 etc. Further description of this. How this samsara vriksha can be cut? Vedanta vihita brahmatma darshana sangha shastrakrita uchcheda. Uchcheda, destruction. The destruction can be by the shastra, weapon of what? Weapon in the form of Brahmatma Darshana. By Brahmatma Darshana, by knowledge of Jiva and Brahma, identity of knowledge of Jiva Brahma, whatever asanga, by dispassion one gets, by that one can totally destroy this. So therefore, this Satya Eshaha Samsara Vrikshaha Ashvattaha. So it's Ashwath. Here, why Ashwattha? Shankaracharya gives a different reason. Ashwattha. Ashwatthavat kama karma vaterita nityam prachalita swabhava. In the Gita Bhasya, Shwaha sthata nava. Tomorrow whether you're going to stay or not, no guarantee. That's why Ashwattha. Here, different reason is given. For this, I don't know whether you have observed a pipal tree very carefully, especially its leaves. Compared to the leaves of other trees, the leaves of pipal tree are more fluttering. Suppose other trees' leaves are standstill, but suppose very gentle breeze is there. Other leaves are not shaking, but pipal tree leaves are shaking. Do you know why? You can see the stalk of the leaf. The stalk of the leaf is long. Therefore, the leaf is that from the trunk or the branch or that twig, the leaf is far away and slight movement of the air, it makes it shake. So therefore it says, like a ashwatha tree leaves, kama karma vaterita nitya prachalita. Always shaking by the vata, wind of what? Kama karma. Desires and consequent karmas. By this is always on the shaking in nature. This is how Bhashyakara describes samsara vriksha in Kathopanishad Bhashya. Now here let us see iti. So it is so said in the Kathopanishad also. Then Bhashyakara gives the big passage from Purana. Read Puranecha.
Puranecha avyaktamula prabhavaha tasyaivanugrahotthitaha buddhiskandamayaschaiva indriyantara.
So Puranecha is also so quoted in the described in the Puranas. don't think that only Bhagavad Gita speaks of samsara vriksha. Upanishad given, Puranas also describe it. What is the nature of this samsara vriksha as described in the Purana? Avyakta moola prabhava. Prabhava, born of this samsara vriksha, is born of what? Avyakta moola. By the root, which is avyakta, avyakruta, unmanifest maya. In the sense, mere maya will not create it. Maya dependent on Brahma. That is its moola. Again, tasya eva anugrahothita. Born of avyakrita maya and grows also because of that only. Tasya eva. Tasya means avyakta moolasya maya yaha anugrahothita. Uthitaha means samvardhitaha, grown. By what? Tasya anugrahat, by the grace of, means by the strength of, power of avyakta maya, the samsara vriksha grows. See, for example, samsara means objects and beings are necessary, for which upadhis, embodiments are necessary. Embodiments are born of what? Pancha Mahabhuta. Pancha Mahabhuta has 5 elements. From where 5 elements are born? From Maya Shakti. It makes it ramify, grow. So, Uchchitaha, that is what? It is Samvarita growth. Then, Buddhi Skandha, Skandha Mayaha cha eva. Mayaha, prachura, abundant, extensive, large. Because the Buddhi Skandha, Skandha means shoulder in the sense trunk. Buddhi, the intellect is the trunk of this in the sense. See, trunk grows in terms of branches which fork emerge in the different directions. So also, Buddhi gives rise to samsara of different types of modification. The Buddhi, the faculty of knowing in terms of sukha, dukkha and all those things, it gives rise to very, very, very experiences of the samsara. Buddhist Skandamaya. Indriyantara Kotara. In a huge tree, there are hollows. Kotara. What are those? Indriyantara. Indriyantara means Indriya Chidrani. The receptacles where senses are housed. Those chidras, those apertures are its called, what is what? Kotara, hollows of the tree. Continue, Mahabhuta.
महाभूतविशाखश्च विषयैपत्रवांस्तथा धर्माधर्मसु पुष्पश्च सुखदुःखफलोदयः
Mahabhuta Vishakhascha. So then it has got Vividha Shakha. There are different types of branches. What are those? Mahabhuta. Pancha Mahabhutas. Space, air, fire, water, earth, like varieties of the branches of this. Tatha, so also, Vishayaihi Patrava. It is full of leaves. What type of leaves? Vishayas, sense objects. See, little slight difference is there between the Katha Bhasha and this Bhasha. It can be described in varied ways. Dharma, dharma, supushpascha. It has got beautiful trees, not trees, flowers in terms of dharma, adharma, righteous and unrighteous. Here, dharma, dharma means papa and punya. This dharma word is not properly translated in English. It cannot be translated in English because there is no equivalent word for dharma. We generally translate dharma as what? Religion. And that is where everything has gone wrong, especially when you translate the secular country as what? The other dharma nirapeksha. Dharma nirapeksha is called as secular. What does it mean? Nirapeksha means independent of dharma. Means you have nothing to do with the dharma. And that's what is going on. Religion is not a translation of dharma. Dharma, see, word dharma has come from where? What is source? Vedas. In Vedas, dharma meaning is what? Like an ocean, out of which a small portion is religion. So therefore, Satya Sai Baba said once, this secular word should not be translated as dharma nirapeksha. It should be translated as mata nirapeksha. Religion word can be translated as mata, Bauddha mata, Islam mata, Vaishnava mata, Shaiva mata, again Yesu mata, because they are centered around some person. Vedas or Sanatana Dharma is not centered on any individual. It is the ultimate reality, or from the ultimate reality, the knowledge of different things that got revealed to masters, rishis, innumerable. They are compiled, and that is what is called and codified as Rig, Yajus, Sama, Atharva. So, dharma, in general, we can take as the prescribed code of conduct. Prescribed by whom? Vedas. Or the right code of conduct. Or better, you can say as duties enjoined by the Vedas. Having been born in this world, you are taking many things from the world. We take it for granted. The air that you breathe, the earth that we dwell on, the water that we drink, that sky, that akasha which accommodates us, the sun, the moon, all this, flora, fauna, all are intricate to us. We don't know that. We depend on all these things. So therefore, you are taking many things from this cosmos. Even those twinkle, twinkle, little star delight you. But it cannot be one-way traffic. When you take, you have to give also. When you go to a shop, unless you pay, will the shopkeeper give you the commodity? But here it is not that way. See, the rain gives us the water. We take for granted. Though there are deities to operate for them, we have to offer them something in return. So like this, so many things may not be known to the human intellect on its own. Vedas tells, do this, don't do this. You have a role to play in this world. So the duties enjoined. Duties toward the family, duty toward the society, duty towards the country, duty toward the world, duty toward all living beings, duty toward the trees, etc. Again, finally, duty towards oneself. Very important. All these are told in the dharma. Dharma means manmane. That is what is going on in the country. Think what is happening. Corruption. Those who are supposed to rule the country are looting the country. We are reading the newspaper. ED, CBI, NIA, all these. See, big fellows. Adharma. Because secular. See, whether you are religious or not, different thing. Whether you are mata or not, different thing. You are a human being. First and foremost thing, you have to be dharmic. In dharma, religion doesn't come. Because you're a human being, you have to have dharma. For example, Dharmaraja was dharmic. It is also religious. His conduct was so clean. At the same time, yajnayagas, etc., charity, etc., is to do dharma. Duryodhana was religious, but not dharmic, adharmic. Duryodhana was being yajnayagas, many yajnayagas he had done. Charity also is to give, but not dharma. So that is it. There are people like who that? Bertrand Russell, a clean man, dharmic. But you're right, I am not a Christian. But he is not a religious person. Like that. Whether you follow a religion or not, immaterial. First, be dharmic in nature. If you are dharmic, shanti, shanti, shanti in the world. Even police department will not be necessary. You know, that surprise of Dharmaraja. One evening, he was going for a walk. He saw people putting the lock to their door. Why you put a lock? Thieves should not listen. Till then, door used to open, nobody used to see you. Surprise. And he saw a cow denying the milk to the calf. At other place, he saw women talking to the men wantonly. Those is not possible. Not nowadays. College boys and girls. And they protest also. There should not be restriction on their dress and all that. Dharmaraja was surprised. He understood, oh, Kali Yuga has started now. So therefore, first and foremost thing is dharma, whether you are religious or not, is immaterial. Now here dharma and adharma is in terms of punya and pap. There are a lot of meaning of it. Here it is dharma, dharma, supushpa. Beautiful flowers in terms of papa, punya. Sukha, dukkha, phalodaya. Udaya means here is a sense. It bears the fruit of joys and sorrows. Continue.
आजीव्यः सर्वभूतानां ब्रह्मवृक्षः सनातनः एतद् ब्रह्मवनं चैव ब्रह्माचरति नित्यशः
Sarvabhutanam ajivya. Ajiva is ashraya, resort of all living beings. Is the habitation of all the living beings. Or the livelihood of all is because of this samsara vriksha. It is as it were the patron of all the living beings. Ajivyaha sarvabhuta. What is this? This Brahma Vriksha Sanatana. What is Brahma Vriksha? Like this. Brahmana Adhishchitaha Vriksha. That is tree which is centered in Brahma. The tree wherein the samsara vriksha is centered. The very basis of it is Brahma. Sanatanaha, Chirantanaha, eternal. Or also Sanatana can be Anadi, beginningless, endless. Etad Brahmavanam. This Brahma, the word Vana is to be understood properly. Etad means this samsara vriksha is Brahmavana. What is meant by Brahmavana? Not forest of Brahma or something like that. It has Brahma as its Vanam. Vanam word also means Sarabhutam. This word Vanam has come in Kenopanishad, not as a tree. Sarabhutam, or what is called as Vananiyam Sambhajaniyam. Highly adorable. There in Kenopanishad it is called Sambhajaniyam, highly adorable. The most adorable entity in this samsara is Brahma, the root, the very root of it, the basis of it. Or it can be, Brahmavanam can be like this. Brahmanaha, of what Brahma? Which Brahma? Jiva Rupa Brahmanaha. Of Brahma, who is in the form of Jiva, an individual entity. Of that, Etad, this samsara vriksha is what? Vanam means bhajaniyam means bhogyam. It is the one which gives joys and sorrows to the jiva, who in reality is nothing but Brahma only. Like this, different meanings of this Brahmavanam can be taken to. Brahma acharati nityashaha. Nityashaha, always. Brahma acharati. Here, Brahma means Paramatma. Acharati, what does it do? Sakshivad acharati. He remains as the Sakshi in the samsara vriksha. Innumerable things are going on the samsara vriksha. Paramatma is only what? Just an illuminator, Sakshi, in whose presence they are going on, but he is least interested, he is least connected to all that goes on in the samsara vriksha. Acharati. Nityashaha means always ekarupena, sada ekarupena, avikar rupena. All the time, Brahma being changeless, like Kutastha Sakshi, like an anvil. An anvil, you keep hot oil and hammer it and give different shape. The piece of iron changes, but not the anvil. So, in the presence of Brahma, lots of changes on terms of samsara take place, samsara, but Brahma is what? Unscathed, unaffected, changeless, avikari. In one book called Gudhartha Deepika. Gudhartha Deepika is gloss, tika on Bhagavad Gita by none other than Sri Madhusudana Saraswati. Madhusudana Saraswati, a great doyen of Vedanta, contemporary of Akbar, Mirabai, Tulsidas, Surdas, all they are contemporary. And even Akbar recognizes the intelligence, he honored him. Honored means he highly regarded him as. It even happens one. It is said Saraswatyaha param Madhusudana janati. Madhusudana param Saraswati eva janati. The greatness, the extent of knowledge, what has Saraswati has got only Madhusudana. Whereas the of Madhusudana Saraswati knows. And what the greatness of Saraswati, Madhusudana knows. Such a one, a great person. And in fact, he was also contemporary of Appaya Dikshita. Appaya Dikshita was a great Vedanti and Bhakta from the south. And he happened to come to Varanasi. Madhusudana got the news. This is a sannyasi. Yet he went to meet him and he said, I have heard about your glories, etc. Appayati said, I have also heard about your glories. They are a good thing. Then he was a grasta who Appayati said, today you have come, but my duty to call you for bhiksha. So he separately calls him for bhiksha to offer the food. As a grasta, he offered the food and Madhusudana does go to him. That was the once it happened that in this thing, Muslims started beheading the sadhus, etc. By some branding, some name, kafir or something like that, what they were. And nothing is being done. The administration is not, government is not looking after it. So people ran to Madhusudana. Maharaj is happening. Acha, okay. And he raised the army of Nanga sadhus. Nanga sadhus. You know, even today that cult is there. It's army. They fought a very battle for dharma. And it's a behead wherever Maulavis or somebody sent with the other brand. They started chopping off. News went to Akbar. Akbar could gauge this is the brain of Madhusudana. Immediately stopped these Muslims for beheading the sadhus. It was a big problem. So that was he was very practical also. Very practical also. Agreed. His book is Advaita Siddhi, which dismisses the Dvaita, Vishishtadvaita, and establishes the this Advaita. At that time, there was in Dvaita this thing, a great Mahatma was there, Vyasaraya. So he had written something called a Shatadushani, 100 defects in Advaita Mata, for which Vedantin gave an answer in what? Those 100 defects which are pointed out are not defects, they are the glories of Vedanta. A reply was given, Shatabhushani, 100 ornamental things, not defects. What you point out defect is not ornamental, such a great thing. So those days such things were going on. Means writing, counter writing, etc. Advaita Siddhi was, Vyasaraya wanted to dismiss Advaita Siddhi, but he has become very old. So he sent one disciple and he went and as a Shishya disciple, he approached and of course he was accepted as a Shishya, and Madhusudana was teaching Advaita Siddhi. What this was doing was, he was taking and afterward, point by point, he was refuting and writing. Other disciples reported to Madhusudana, see, he is not an actually Shishya, just come for this purpose. Madhusudana said, let him do that. What is that? Let him do. He didn't object it, he kept quiet as if he doesn't know it. Teaching was over, and this person also had refutation was over. And he came and presented to Madhusudana as Guru Dakshina. Madhusudana said, not that I was not aware of it. I knew that you are writing. But one thing, I have accepted you as the Shishya. As a Guru, I don't want to refute what you have written. Not that I can't refute it. I can do that. But you are my Shishya. I accepted you. I don't want to refute that. But someone will listen. It was his grand disciple, disciple, Gauda Brahmananda, fiery person. He outrightly refuted what he had written. So that is, in that, Gudata Deepika, meaning we have seen, but slight different reading is there. We'll see the next time. Different reading of Brahmacharati Nityashaha. This phrase is a little different in there. Maybe it's Patantara in the Purana or something like that. We'll see that. Oh.
स्वस्ति प्रजाभ्यः परिपालयन्तां न्यायेन मार्गेण महीं महिषाः गो ब्राह्मणेभ्यः शुभमस्तु नित्यम् लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु काले वर्षतु पर्जन्यः पृथिवी सस्यशालिनी देशोऽयं क्षोभरहितः ब्राह्मणाः सन्तु निर्भयाः ॐ सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा अमृतं गमय ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः।